Mm, mm. Welcome everyone. Today we are starting chapter 15 Bhagavad Gita, which is referred as Purushottama Yoga. It's a short one, 20 verses. In this chapter, here again, Sri Krishna emphasizes that I am in all beings and all appearances. Vidya is just joining. In chapter 15, we are just starting. Sri Krishna emphasizes that I am in all beings and all appearances. Starting from chapter 13, the fact that the individual jiva and the nirguna Brahman supreme presence are one and the same was emphasized, and that is continuing here. Jiva Brahma Aikyam refers to not two things united, but it refers to both are same. So, for example, 5 plus 3 is 10 minus 2. They look different, but they both are same. Whereas young child, if you ask a 5-year-old or 4-year-old, they'll be confused. It's complicated. But as we go progress, you understand that everything is same. 5 plus 3 and 10 minus 2, or 8 plus 2, whatever, 6 plus 2, whatever you say, they're all same. So in chapter 15, Krishna compares the entire human life to a Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha means people tree. And he's imagining a tree and explaining it to as a example. The focus is on how to hack down this tree, how to chop it, bulldoze it. Ashwatha means temporary. Swaha nishtati va nava, that is anityam, that is not permanent. Cannot predict a tree whether this tree will be there tomorrow, the next day. It could be either be completely cut down, uprooted, or fallen due to thunderstorm. Can be anything can happen. So when the entire prapancham or the universe is a tree, it has to have a deep root. That deep root is Nirguna Brahman. The roots are of two types, tap roots and fibrous roots. So Nirguna Brahman is the tap root for the entire universe, not just the planet, entire universe. So taproot is, we all have know about it. Single root that goes straight down. Fibrous roots is dense network of roots spreading across the entire place, right? Earth, horizontally. So taproots are carrot, radish, cilantro. Those are examples. Fibrous roots are grass, banana, ginger, coconut. All those things are fibrous roots. If Nirguna Brahman is the foundation, basis, and root of all appearances, the imagined root is compared to the supreme here. The huge branches to 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. These branches are facing downwards. Literal translation is the roots are up and the branches are down. That is, we have seen some of the books have that picture. The front cover is upside down tree in some books. That is a literal translation. But Krishna points out that this samsaram, this endless cycle of birth and death, the root is the supreme Brahman, which is not visible to naked eye. Branches are facing downwards, meaning it symbolizes that they are lower, less valuable, inferior, while the Nirguna Brahman is the supreme, with reference to both. These are drawn to those uh, are drawn to the senses because they are less valuable. That's why they call it less valuable. They are drawn to the senses and experiences, and the cause of this endless cycle. This cycle continues and exists as a tree from the seed to tree, tree to seed. It keeps the cycle, vicious cycle keeps going on. Now we saw root and we saw branches, the huge big branches. Now the next one is leaves. Leaves are the vital parts of any tree. They perform photosynthesis, right? Plants absorb carbon dioxide from air and water from the air. And within the plant cell, carbon dioxide is reduced, gets oxidized, and you get oxygen and glucose. Similarly, the first part of Vedas, that is karma kanta, ritual portions, triggers desired prompted actions. If you do this, you can get that. If you can pray for rain, for a child, for health, for wealth, anything. This huge perpetual perennial tree has grown due to the encouragement of desires and desired prompted actions. Karma actions are the leaves of this tree of the cycle of birth and death. The smaller twigs are referred to as the bodies of beings, humans, animals, birds, reptiles, insects, all living beings. These bodies are the location for the experience of the glamorous objects, power, position, wealth, due to three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. And both pleasure and pain, the plurality, experiences of plurality. Thereby the jiva, the individual, is grounded firmly, strongly into this fake existence of birth and death. Three gunas is sattva, that is knowledge. First to learn, luminosity. If you attended the Advaita Academy talk, most of them are same thing that comes there too. So rajas is the intense desire for actions, achievements, accomplishments, and attractions. Tamoguna is infatuations, delusions, ignorance. Verse 2, second line, he says, if Brahma is the taproot, the fibrous roots are the likes and dislikes in each individual that spreads far and wide, and deep inside is the taproot. So both taproot is there and fibrous root is there. Both are there. From these desires comes actions. From actions, the consequences of actions. From the consequences of actions comes the body. So again, the body desires, action, consequences. Body desires, actions, and consequences. The cycle keeps continuing, just like the tree and the seed. This inverted tree has no existence per se. It's a mithya, it is an appearance. No one can pinpoint such a tree. So is this whirlpool of birth and death life. It is an appearance. Jiva itself is an appearance. It's a mithya. There is no jiva per se. But because we don't know who I am, we think I am the jiva. Such a hugely firmly grounded tree of samsara can only be eradicated by detachment. It has no beginning and it has no end. Just like a caterpillar inside a cocoon, every being is caught inside this cycle of birth and death. And we need to make an effort, just like the caterpillar, to come out of it and get transformed into a butterfly. So the butterfly has two wings. So the example given is discern and dispassion. Discern means the ability to know the truth from fake. Dispassion is to stay away from the fake, which is not truth. Now, how do we cut this tree? To cut any tree, the arborist, the tree cutter, cuts the smaller branches first, then the heavier big branches, and leaves the central trunk as is. Similarly, to cut this endless cycle of birth and death, first we need to weaken the tree, then completely uproot it. The second step is done by disassociations, solitude, and dispassion. So it cannot be uprooted without weakening it. We cannot directly uproot it. If we leave the cut tree without uprooting it, it often comes back, shoots out, sprouts back. Similarly, this tree needs to be completely uprooted before it starts growing again. Even in my personal experience, I want to add some, as a diabetic patient, when I go to India, I eat all the junk, then my A1C goes up. I know I'm a very disciplined person, but when I go there tempted and then comes back, and then when I come back, I watch again and observe my agency. This happens to anybody, even in the spiritual life. That is why the path of spirituality is a sliding slope. We need to be very cautious not to fall back into this worldly glamour. As everything is temporary, everything is, nothing can give you complete satisfaction. They're all ephemeral, everything. Therefore, surrender to that one supreme presence which is ever present, all pervasive. To surrender, devotion is necessary. That is, first you know that there is something beyond me. Only through devotion one can discern the truth from untruth. Only devotion can lead you to dispassion and detachment. Only devotion can take you to Guru and a teacher. And one develops reverence, admiration for that Supreme, only because of devotion, which is, we can call it belief, faith, trust, Shraddha. This is all including Shraddha. Shraddha per se does not have an English translated word. So that all together is that complete commitment to that scriptures and Guru's words, understanding that I am that. Only in this Vedantic spiritual path, you are required to change your personality, your thoughts, your worldview. In all other rituals that we perform, prayers, worship, yoga, meditation, visiting temples, it is not required. But in spiritual path, the prerequisite primary step is one should not have likes and dislikes, an equanimous vision towards all beings, appearances, existences, and situations is warranted. This is not an easy task. Only through intense devotion, self-dedication, reflecting on our relationship to the Supreme is possible. It can be accomplished. Devotion alone helps individual to focus on the purpose of human life, which is self-realization. This devotion, bhakti, is required from the start till the end, till finish. Discernment, dispassion, devotion alone is not enough. The knowledge that everything is temporary and nothing can give me complete happiness, and I am that, is very important. One should not feel superior or inferior based on any academic qualifications. Verse number 5. Either by birth or color of the skin, power, position, wealth. In India, by jati, which is caste, varnas, there is no superiority. All these are transitory. One should not be ignorant of that one supreme presence and caught into this or drawn into this glamorous world. One should be able to be in solitude, be happy, even in your own house, in your own place. Just oneself without expecting others to keep us entertained. Just I'm happy wherever I am. Or drawn towards, if they are drawn towards outward for happiness without being drawn to the outward happiness. Again, my life took me, it's just, we don't make an effort here. My life took me like that. I was living alone for 15 years. So that way you can fully focus on this and experience that. So we have to be objective, go beyond plurality, not get offended, disturbed, perturbed, agitated with anything, heat or cold, pleasure or pain, insult or appreciation. Whatever happens, do not make a big deal about it. With the thought, these are normal part of life. Ups and downs are in my mind. These are mere incidences, events, occurrences. Surrender to that one which is me, says Krishna here in verse 5. This is how one can chop, bulldoze, tear down the tree. Verse 6, he says that Supreme is referred as the light behind all lights, behind sun, moon, and fire. All these function because of that Nirguna Brahman. These are instruments that illumines everything. See, during the daytime, the sun illumines. At night, the moon illumines. Or if you are inside the house, the electric bulb illumines. But who is the seer of all this? None of this can show the Atman. Atman can see all, but the sun cannot show the Atman. Our senses and mind illumines objects outside. That supreme illumines our mind and everything in this universe. But the sun, moon, and fire cannot illumine that presence. Every human need to attain or realize that self-realization is a one-way street. Once reached, there is no coming back to this whirlpool. Now, verse 7 to 11, he says, the sun shines in all, mountains, rivers, plants, people, animals, but reflects only in water. Similarly, that supreme presence shines in all, but gets reflected only in a clear, clean intellect or mind of a human. This reflection of the supreme plus mind is called jiva, individual, or in Tamil it is called uir. So what is death? What happens at death? Atma, the inner presence, is all pervasive, everywhere. It does not move, it cannot go anywhere. So, but our subtle body, which we have already studied in Atma Bodha, so 19 parts, that is 5 Jnanendriya, 5 Karmendriya, 5 Panchaprana, plus Manas, Buddhi, Chittam, Ahankara. This 19, they migrate to the next body to experience the consequences of our actions. Actions here is thought, word, and deed. We are the product of our choices. There is not, God is not sitting somewhere and having the checks and balances. We ask for it. We create our own destiny. We create our own blueprint. So this gross body does not experience anything. It is a location. It is a place to experience. It is the mind that experiences. Sukshma Sharira. We experience everything as long as the mind is available. In deep sleep, we are not even aware of this body. It's like a log of wood because the mind is at rest. That subtle body, 19 parts, resides in this body, experiences the pain and pleasure. Once the consequences of the karmas are exhausted, it sheds this body and migration occurs to a different body, depending on what needs to be experienced. So remember, this Gita is for general public. Arjuna is a representative of humanity. It is not for, I wouldn't say if you are already in the Jnana Yoga, you already know I am that. Then you take on the next step. You practice Nididhyasana. Because Jiva itself, for a Jnani, Jiva itself is an illusion. So just like we move from one house to the other, pack everything that is needed and leave the unwanted and unpack when we move on to the next house. So again, and then there in that house, we again start accumulating, pack it, and then pack it, move it, unpack it. That's exactly what happens with subtle body. It changes from body to body to body. So a power referred as Udana Prana. There are Pancha Prana, Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. The Udana Prana is what assists the body, the astral body or the Sukshma Sharira to separate from the physical body. Just like air carries the fragrance of flowers with it, so also the subtle body takes everything with it, our thoughts and consequences, settles down and unpacks it in a new body. The 5 senses, faculties, ability to see, hear, smell, touch, and eat or taste, for all these things are again unpacked in the new body. For example, he says, for a newborn baby, the hearing is the first. As an infant, 1 week old, cannot see, cannot touch, cannot taste, only hearing. And then comes the touch of the mother. And then seeing happens third, after 2-3 months. So when the subtle body leaves, it is the hearing that leaves last. Whatever comes first, leaves last. That is why it is suggested to chant chapter 2 when somebody is on deathbed. Other senses may not work. So everything is sidelined. Thus, an individual experiences this life. Krishna mentions these for deeper understanding and to develop dispassion to the world outside. Thus, as we keep on moving from house to house, place to place, and at one point we are fed up with these constant changes and prefer to settle down in one place. Similarly, one gets fed up with the life. That's when one one is drawn into the spiritual path. I'm fed up with all these things happening throughout. If you look back in your life, everything seems like a movie. Scientists create robots. They function like human, but they do not eat and talk. That intelligence in all beings comes from me, says Krishna. That is my power. That's verse 6. Verse 7. My reflection, my chitabhasa, is ever present. The isness, present continuous. All activities, each and every moment is because of that supreme presence. Everything else is inert, came out of 5 elements. Sculptures, statues are made, they do not eat, but the one who made them, who made the sculpture, he eats, talks, sings, and dances. All these are possible because of me, my presence in those bodies, all bodies. So I am in all as that intelligence, as the power to know, the power to function. Because of me, my presence, everything is happening. In every action, realize that I am in you. Each moment is an expression of that inner presence. I express as many. Vyashti and Samashti. Vyashti is individual, Samashti is the cosmic. So if this body is performing, speaking, talking, seeing, tasting, walking, is all expression of that one presence. Without that one presence, nothing will happen. As each being, I alone, in every being, I alone exist. But due to ignorance, humans feel bounded, not knowing my presence. All senses are only tools, like your phone, cell phone. You use a cell phone to talk to somebody. You use a pen to write something. You use a computer to interact. So all these are tools. And that person that person is called bhogi in Sanskrit, those who enjoy worldly pleasures. He says the Gadakasam, the space inside a pot, and the cosmic space, both are one and the same. The cosmic space is called Mahakasam, and the space inside the pot is called Gadakasam. Gada means a pot. So this pot space inside is the same as the cosmic space. They are not separate, not different from cosmic space. The pot itself exists in that cosmic space. So just because Jivan, the individual, the reflected consciousness and the mind is associated with the Prakriti, the individual experiences everything. I am doing this, I am enjoying this, I am the Karta, I am the Bhokta. So Atma plus body, mind and intellect is Jiva. Atma minus body, mind and intellect is Brahman. Therefore, Atma and Brahman are one and the same. Atma is ever present. When the conditionings are shed, Atma alone is. A realized one is conscious of that consciousness in every activity. An ignorant who does not have the self-knowledge does not see that supreme presence inside. Now the summary from verse 1 to 10. 1 to 5, Krishna compared the entire universe to a huge tree. The Nirguna Brahman is a taproot, the predominant substratum of the entire universe, and the likes and dislikes that humans carry with them are the cause of all suffering, struggles, and sorrows. To cut this huge, wide, deep tree, that is life of samsara, the only option is detachment, objectivity, ability to see the temporal existence of all. Thus, you weaken the tree by knowing and approaching that supreme. Surrendering through devotion. Be objective in all situations, unbiased, with all people and situations. Tear down this tree of samsara, cycle of birth and death. This is specified so we could develop a dispassion, see the truth, and stay away from the untruth, glamour, attachment. We should be able to see that Supreme Presence in every moment, every thought, every word we utter, and in every activity in and around us. I am not a human being having a divine experience, but I am a divine being experiencing a human life. I am that. This current form and name is nothing but a mask. Just like we see Mickey Mouse and Superman in the fair when we go to the fair, the person inside is real. Outside is a mask. So are this Vijaya. So is this body, this form. Now, verse number 11, why is that many do not understand the Supreme Presence? Humans try. Everyone tries. They study scriptures, they listen, but will never get this for one reason, which is without a pure, unbiased, equanimous vision, mindset, objective vision, all the personal likes and dislikes. Without a pure mind, one cannot understand, grasp this self. An immature ignorance slogs through, toils through this life like a cattle, throughout the life, only to come back. Amidst the activities of this entire universe, a realized one who has realized that with the pure mind, consistent, constant meditation of that oneself, reflecting, understanding clearly that the body and mind and intellect are inert and acts because of me, my presence in this body. He is the realized one. Constant abidance in that is a sign of spiritual progression, a measuring scale. Consistent effort, especially with a pure mind, without likes and dislikes, is necessary. That can be gained by karma yoga. Doing your duty without expecting anything in return. That's a parenting is a karma yoga. We don't expect anything from the child when we are raising the children, right? So that is a karma yoga. That is why every individual goes through that karma yoga initially, and then they come into a spiritual path. Therefore, the inference is liberation, which is moksha, is not carried out from the past birth. Sometimes you can say that if I will attain my moksha if my karma takes me. No, it doesn't. Karma does not take you to moksha. Sincere effort with a pure mind in this current life is necessary. The scriptural studies are not these are not mere book knowledge. Even after years of studies, without a pure mind, any amount of effort is an utter waste. We can easily identify from some of the scholars, we can see when they talk, you can always observe what words they use, their behaviors, interaction, their thought, word, and deed, all three must be in alignment. They might have studied for 20 years, and then if they say they are Westerners, foreigners, this is our scripture, then when you say our, you are isolating somebody else. Right? So those are the words that we want to use when we want to be careful when we use those words, because there's only one humanity. There's no other. That is 1 to 10. Now, next, he's talking about verse 12 to 15, that Nirguna Brahman alone appears as this universe. So far, he had mentioned that he alone is in all beings. Here he says that the entire universe is nothing separated from Brahman. That the Nirguna Brahman appears as the universe as well. He picks 3 examples, even though all powers that exist around us. He uses 3 fundamental forces of nature. See, we have seen electricity, magnetism, gravity, space, air, fire, water, earth, light, everything we have seen. But everything is that Brahman. All powers are expression of that one, Nirguna Brahman. In scriptures, each force is referred as a deity. That doesn't mean that we have many gods. There is only one. One expresses as many. We all call Varuna Devan, Vayu Devan, that is sun god, wind god. Even Native Americans here, indigenous people, they worship all these 5 elements. Just like I, VJ, can read, write, speak, run. These are my powers. So also Shakti is the power of Brahman. All these are expressions of that one. Verse 12, Krishna says, the brightness of the warmthness of the sun is me, the luminosity of the moon is me, I am the fire. All these are inert, my power expresses through them. Say there are two, in our house we have two rooms, right? Both rooms have the sun window, through the window the sunlight comes. Both rooms are bright. So you are in one room, the other room is empty. The first room, so that room, the first room is bright. The room does not know that the room is bright. The brightness in the room does not know it is bright. Whereas in this room, the person you are sitting, you know it is bright and you know it is a room. You are the witness and that is me. That knowledge is me. That not just the presence, existence. That knowledge that you gain is me. The sun, moon, fire are just objects of perception. I am the knower. My power permeates everywhere. I am in all. I can see the presence and absence. Verse 13, the richness and fertility of this universe is me. I am the basis, foundation, footing for all existence. Existence is the isness, and not an object of cognition. It is an existence. Anything that exists with a small e is existence with a capital E. The heat, cold, snow, thunder, tornado, hurricane, earthquake is all me. I sustain all planets and nutrition in all of them. Now, verse 14, apart from the fire that you can see outside, I am also the fire, inner fire in all beings. Sometimes we say, no, he speaks like a fire. Nerpa kotra, sometimes that Agni. Or I'm so hungry, This Agni, this fire in the stomach that helps us to digest the food. This internal fire is referred as Vaishwanara. That deity takes 4 different types of food. One is chewing, chew and swallow, right? Like bread. Next one is drinking, inhaling any liquid, juices, milk, water. The third one is licking, like honey, stroking with a tongue. Then the fourth one is gulping down, smoothie or juice shake, Tamil kanji, we can say. So I am Vaishwanara, the deity initiate the breath, the movement of the air to absorb and digest and distribute the nutrition. The process of eating itself is an offering to Lord. It has to be performed with due respect. Oftentimes the leftovers are dumped in instead of leaving behind, very much like a dustbin. Eating is an offering, it is a prayer, worship must be done and performed as such. It is referred to as Pranagnihotra in Sanskrit. So that's why we pray before we eat always. Verse 15, here Krishna says, I am both the remembrance and forgetfulness. The ability to discern, recognize that I am done with this task. And I'm done with this task, this needs to be performed. That's ability to discern. That memory, I am that memory. If we don't remember that I'm done, we will keep doing same thing over and over again. So I am also the forgetfulness, which is very important to move forward. We all have lost our parents, uncles, aunts, loved ones, but this forgetfulness helps humans to move on, especially emotional incidences. Always remember, my mother used to say that, always remember, when you do good to others, always remember it. So, when others do good to you, always remember, so you can thank them one day. When others do bad to you, forget it instantly. Don't Vengeance will not help. That is a negative emotion. When you do bad to others, remember so you can apologize one day. When you do good to others, do not even remember that because it will boost your ego. I did this. So we want to be careful how we think. So Krishna says, I created Vedas. I am Veda. I am also the one who is listening to the Veda. So I am the guru. I am the seeker. I am also the content. I am both Purva Bhagam and Uttara Bhagam. Purva Bhagam is Karma Kanda, Uttara Bhagam is Jnana Kanda. Right? So all chanting, mantras, processes of rituals, all comes in Karma Kanda. The later portion is Upanishads and meaning. So here he emphasizes non-duality. We have seen this in Atma Bodha, which is a conglomerate of all the Upanishads. So verse 16 to 20 now. Krishna classifies the entire existence into two parts, Ksharam and Aksharam. Ksharam means something that is changeable, modifiable, destructible, perishable. That is Ksharam. Aksharam is unchanging, non-modifiable, indestructible, imperishable. So the Ksharam, now if you say where did this universe come from? Prakriti, nature, Maya, illusion. This Krishna refers as Akshara. Anything that is in the Prakriti that we see, all perishables are Kshara. They are disintegrating. So Maya is Aksharam, he says. So because this too is not perishable, Maya is not perishable, that is, the Prakriti is not perishable because it will keep on coming back again and again and again, just like our body. So, and create an illusionary appearance. This Maya is imperishable because it is the power of that Brahman. As long as that Brahman, Atman is here, this hand can write or speak or see. Five senses can operate, right? Or even jnana, we can grasp. This Maya is a combination of three gunas. So Maya is Aksharam, Prakriti is Ksharam. We want to know the difference. This Maya has got three gunas in every being. Everything, anything that we see in this universe has three gunas. But one is always predominant to the other two. I, Vijay exist. All my powers expresses in different way. Walking, writing, speaking, these powers are independent of me. They are all leaning on me. My hand cannot just write without my presence. They are leaning on me like my shadow. So that is why they are not creations. Similarly, the entire universe is not a creation. It is an appearance, manifestation of that one supreme presence. Creation is, in Taittiriya Upanishad, comes as after each kalpa, that is not here mentioned in this Gita here. After each kalpa, everything is in the seed form, pralaya. Then one by one space comes, and air. So one by one elements comes. They are all rudimentary elements, tanmatras. So that is creation. So, but actually, everything is just a manifestation. One appears as many. That Nirguna Brahma is beyond Ksharam and Aksharam. That is referred as Uttama Purusha, third one. So Ksharam is something that is depreciable. Aksharam is something that is indestructible. This indestructible Maya creates this destructible. But I am beyond these two, Ksharam and Aksharam, Uttama Purusha. And when this Uttama Purusha word Sanskrit, two words are reversed, it becomes Purushottaman. Purushottama, that is the title of this chapter, Purushottama Yoga. Existence, supreme. So first one is those that have manifested Ksharam. Substratum of all these appearances is my power, which is Akshara. I am the supreme Nirguna Brahman beyond Ksharam and Akshara, beyond the presence and absence, beyond knowledge and ignorance. Maya, therefore, is the material cause, Upadana Karan. Just like we have clay, and clay alone cannot become a pot. Clay is in a shape of lump of clay, right? So that lump, that circular shape of the clay, changes to different shapes, holding on to different names, even though the clay doesn't change, right? Just like the rope never changed to a snake, it never transformed into a snake. Similarly, I am present without any transformation. And everything is but the changes due to the illusionary Prakriti, which is Maya. Hope it's clear. Verse number 19 and 20, we are almost at the end. Benefits of self-knowledge. Atma, Brahma, Aikyam. What's the benefits? Those who see me in this way are men of wisdom. Men does not refer to gender, it is humanity. All others are ignorant. They see the differences among deities, my God and your God. They see the differences among people. They see differences in the world. They are caught in this plurality. Such people do not know me. When the source or the foundation or the root is understood, everything is known. This plethora of information outside knowledge that we gain on a daily basis, right? About all the animals or sea animals, land animals, wild animals, domestic animals, human beings, planets, galaxy, everything. There's so much of information going on. There's all information. He says they are called as apara vidya. Brahma vidya alone is para vidya, superior knowledge. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. That means the knower of Brahman is Brahman itself. That is not different from knowing and being. They both are same. No. So how can that be possible? There are researchers who do research on various things like cats, dogs, eagles, and insects. They do not become those. How can one become Brahman? Because you are that. We are not changing, we are not attaining, we are not achieving, we are not becoming. It is called realization. I realize who I am. Example he says is we act in a play, in a particular role. But after the play, we go back to who we are. We may act as a queen or we may act as a beggar, whatever role we play as a role. And then when we are down, after the play, we come back to our original. Same thing happening here. When this form and name is dissolved, I am that. It reveals itself. Therefore, those who knows me reaches me, says Krishna. Verse 20. This is the last one. This is the royal secret. Secret is something that others don't know. There are plenty of books, movies, plays, scriptures, YouTubes nowadays about all this Atmajnana. But people are still ignorant because they don't understand this self-knowledge. Therefore, this is the secret of all secrets. Unless and until your mind is ready to grasp it and matured enough it is a secret. Arjuna says, I have explained this to you, Krishna says, I have explained this to you, Arjuna, because in chapter 2.7, you surrendered unto me. Once you realize who you are, there is nothing more to be done by you. Everything is done. You are in total peace and contentment. You are not afraid of death. You have renounced the entire universe. Your existence witness. This is a measuring scale of spiritual progression. As long as you have things to do, meaning if I'll be happy if I do this, I'll be happy if I do this. As long as you have things to do, you are in samsara world. When it is far too less for you to do, you are at the edge of the cliff. When it is zero, you are liberated. There are no bondages, no responsibilities. So what does that mean? You will be performing all actions, interacting in this transactional reality. But you are not in a state that defines that I would be happy only when I do this, when I achieve this. Your happiness, bringing pleasures to others. And just by being around others, you are bringing pleasure to others. Now, what is liberation? What is moksha? Contentment in both intellect and heart, mind and heart. The urge that I need to know more and more and more stops. I need to do more. I need to see more. I need to go and visit this place, that place, here, this. All those things stops at some point. That is mind. Heart is the contentment that I have done my duty. I have nothing more to do. That is in the heart. So both the intellect and heart should be completely done with everything. A realized one is in contentment, unaffected. With this, Krishna ends chapter 15. Pretty much Gita, the scriptural content ends with chapter 15. 16 through 17, he talks about the qualities, moral values, attributes that every human being should have possessed to reach that self-realization. Chapter 18 is a complete summary from 2 to 18, all the chapters. So we will complete, we'll meet, I will show you the slide now, and then we can move. This is chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga. So Uttama Purusha. This is the taproot. This is the taproot. This is the fibrous root. And we know all this. These are the huge branches, which he refers to as space, air, fire, water, earth, 5 branches. And the leaves create photosynthesis, and that is how the karma kanda become. We do putra kameshti yogam for to have a child, Kuvera puja for wealth, Lakshmi puja for wealth, Saraswati puja for knowledge, Varuna puja for rain, Satyanarayan puja to protection from famine, Hanuman puja for physical fitness, good health, Ganesha puja for the removal of obstacles. As we keep on doing all this, we get entangled into this worldly life, whirlpool of birth and life. So see, compare the leaves to this karma kanda. This is the people tree, Ashwattham tree. This is the banyan tree, which is Vata Vriksham in Sanskrit. This is under this tree sits the Dakshinamurti. It's just an example. Just wanted to differentiate between the 2 different types of leaves. These are the tiny plagues that are for all the beings, all plants, animals, everything. This is our karmas, how they spread, all the likes and dislikes. The roots of this tree hanging downward, causing the flow of karma. It spreads. So that is why it is very important to have a pure mind, and pure mind is possible only by karma yoga. Do your duty without any expectation, without any recognition. That is karma yoga. And as an arpana buddhi and prasada buddhi, of everything, whatever I do is all offering to God. God is within me. Everything is offering, including eating is an offering. And accept whatever comes is prasada buddhi. This is a tree that some of the books have, but it's an imaginary visualization. This is just the intent and meaning is different. An inverted tree has no existence. It's a mithya. So also this samsara is mithya. Jiva is mithya. Everything is mithya. Appearance. One alone is. This is an arborist who cuts the tree. He first cuts the branches, then leaves it as a middle bark alone. And then finally he uproots it. If he doesn't do it fully, they will start growing. Same thing with our life. If we don't have developed that strong dispassion, we will fall back. That's why it says this deep-rooted Ashwatha tree must be cut down with a strong axe of detachment. Completely uprooting the tree refers to removing any and all attachment to the worldly glamour by acquiring self-knowledge. Self-knowledge alone can erase attachments. Weakening the tree refers to dispassion. The real form of this tree is not perceived in this world. Neither has a beginning or an end, nor it is its continued existence. But this deep-rooted Ashwatha tree must be cut down with strong axe. It's the same sentence. One must search out for the base of the tree, which is the Supreme Lord, from whom streamed forth the activity of the universe a long time ago. Upon taking refuge in him, one will not return to this world again. That is again here he emphasizes bhakti. Bhakti starts with bhaja govindam or bhajanam. We call this. That's the root word, to be attached to God. Bhakti is love for love's sake. There is no selfish expectation here. There is no fear. Okay? Parama Prema Rupa. Intense devotion and supreme attachment to God. The part space versus cosmic space, both are same. The part itself exists in this space. So every body is in that Brahman. And that Brahman is everywhere, in everything. There's no difference. There's no difference between the part space and the cosmic space. We have seen all these things in different cultures. We all have different, masks. So we are all masked. We just call it different names and forms. That's all. The inside is Atman alone. The sun, moon, and fire. I am the one behind all this. This can show you things, illuminate things to you, but none of them can illumine the Atman. Know that I am the brilliance of the sun that illuminates the entire solar system. The radiance of the moon and the brightness of the fire also come from me. I am both the memory and forgetfulness. You need both. You need short-term memory. We have so many different memories. We need all those. At the same time, you also need forgetfulness. Ksharam, Aksharam, and Uttama Purusha. Ksharam is that which is subject to distraction, that which are accessible to five senses. Aksharam is that which is ever present, that which is the power of Brahma, illusory with three gunas. Uttama Purusha is that which is beyond both, indestructible, ever present Nirguna Brahman. Ignorance is the cause of this world. When that is destroyed, Brahman alone is. Here this is called Upadana Karan, material cause. That is a parinama vadam. The milk becomes yogurt or curd, right? That is parinama, change, modification. This is vivartavada. Vivartavada means rope appears to be a snake. It doesn't change. It appears. That is the second stage of spirituality. This is the final stage, which is called ajatavada, where ignorance is the cause of this world. When that is destroyed, there is nothing is there except Brahman alone is. There's no jiva, there is no world, there's nothing. Brahman alone is. To get to that stage, that is ajatavada, Sanskrit. That's the end, I think. Yeah, that is the end. So with that, we stop here. And I will end if you can ask questions. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om.